And it goes on to say in Luke, as he came near and saw the city, Jesus wept over it, saying, if you, even you, had recognized on this day the things that would make for peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes. That if I was Jesus even knowing that at the end of this week, I would not be here physically anymore. If I made those choices to show up and be bold and fulfill the prophecy, I would not expect Jesus to weep. I think it's a peculiar reaction, and many other scholars do when they look at this. But for me, it is a breath of fresh air because Jesus is weeping. How many times do we not know what's coming next, and tears are the only thing that comes, not answers? That how many times for us are we saying, if we only knew what would make peace, we would do it, but it is hidden? That this is part of the peace of Jesus in pieces that I love so much about this story that we only see in Luke, that we forget after the triumphant ride. Jesus may have wept. That if we are riding in to the holy city, that place of peace that is within us, if we are shedding all of the pieces of who we are that are not spirit and not of our purest Christ consciousness form, we might weep too, because good gosh, that is hard work. That Jesus was very human in all of this, that he might have been putting on a brave face, saying, I have to ride in on this colt of meekness and of humbleness to fulfill this prophecy. And I don't totally know what I'm doing here. That Jesus comes into Jerusalem and he weeps, that Jesus is in pieces. And sometimes that's okay for all of us as we are going into our own journey of shedding the cloak that is not spirit, that we are laying that down. We can weep too. That it is good work and it is hard work. That Jesus was doing the good thing that was intrinsically his, riding in on the donkey, saying the right things, sending the disciples. It is for the Lord. And there may have been a pause in his humanity to say, peace is hidden from our eyes, even in Jerusalem, which is supposed to be the place of peace. Because many times before we get to a place of peace, before we have our own Jerusalem experience, where the fullness of who we are at our core is able to show up, we have to do a lot of hard work to get there. And I know for me on this spiritual journey, that tears have been part of this process. And if I was Jesus, knowing that if I entered this city, I may not leave, I will not leave, I would have cried too. And so I invite us to think about, how is this story ours? How are we tasked to show up doing what is ours to do? And that is so hard. Sometimes showing up and fulfilling the role that is ours to do, saying the things that are ours to say, showing up in the spaces that are ours to fill, that is hard. What is that for you? What is the place that when you show up there and you do what is yours, sometimes it makes you weep? Sometimes it does not feel peaceful by any means. And when you think of what that is for you, I invite you to ask, which aspects of Jesus am I bringing with me? Am I bringing the humanness? Am I bringing the divinity? Because plot twist, we can't just bring one and not the other. We're on a spiritual journey, but we have to bring our humanity forward. And our divinity comes too. But which one is taking the lead? Which one is on the donkey? Which one is pursuing the peace? Because for many of us, we are on this journey doing our spiritual work to be able to have our Christ consciousness take more of a lead. To have our I am nature, that Jesus as the Christ, come into Jerusalem. That place of peace that is always within us.